What does the Bible say about clean and unclean animals? In the book of Genesis chapter 6 verses 13 and 14, when God was about to bring an end to the first world, God instructed Noah to go into the ark with all living creatures male and female, and that does not exclude the animals as seen in Genesis chapter 6 verse 19. But amidst all the animals some are said to be unclean and others clean. God revealed to Noah animals that were clean and those that were unclean, as said in Genesis chapter 7 verse 2. So before Noah took those animals into the ark, he knew which was clean and which was not, and that was why when he wanted to give his sacrifice of thanks at the end of the flood, the Bible says he only offered animals that were clean to God, as said and seen in Genesis chapter 8 verse 20, and because of that his sacrifice was accepted. Some tribes, religions, and denominations refer to some animals that they are unclean. This is because it is written in the Bible that we have unclean animals. Which of these animals did the Bible refer to as unclean animals? We will find and see in the 5 books of Moses in the Bible. We all know Moses is the friend of God, as said in Exodus chapter 33 verse 11. So God revealed to Moses his friend those animals that were clean and those that were not. 2 out of the 5 books of Moses did list and speak of those animals that are unclean. 2 of the 5 books of Moses that listed those animals that are unclean are the books of Leviticus and Deuteronomy. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 11 verses 1 and 2, God spoke to Moses, reminding him and the children of Israel of some of the others they are not allowed to eat, as he spoke and revealed to Noah. The clean animals are seen in verse 3 of Leviticus chapter 11, and those that are not clean are also seen in verse 4 of Leviticus chapter 11. The swine, which is the pig and hare, are said to be unclean. When you go through the book of Leviticus chapter 11 in the Bible, you see and find a list of clean animals and unclean ones, which also include some of the animals that live in water. Also, the book of Deuteronomy chapter 14 verses 3 to 6 gives a list of clean animals, which includes the likes of sheep, antelope, and goats. From verses 7 to 20 of Deuteronomy chapter 14 gives a list of clean and unclean living on land and waters. Some animals are unclean, and God gave Noah and Moses the law. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 4 verses 1 to 5 does not speak against the law of unclean animals that God gave, but rather gives a warning that no one should follow a doctrine and law that does not come from God. The vision of Apostle Peter in the book of Acts of Apostle chapter 10 has nothing to do with animals, rather it is a vision that has to do with the circumcised and uncircumcised. The vision of Peter was like a parable, and Jesus like teaching in parables, as seen in Matthew chapter 13 verse 10 and Matthew chapter 15 verses 15 to 16. So the vision of Peter concerning the animals he saw does not go against the commandment and law God gave to Noah and Moses about clean and unclean animals. Thank you for following through. See you on the episode of the Holy Word.